Hello and welcome to a new episode of your distant learning course. Mr. Bakri here. Happy learning. Today's focus is grammar and our topic today is the passive voice. In this video, we're going to see two things: the passive voice form and use. We use the passive voice when the focus is on the action, meaning what happened, or when the action is more important than the doer of the action, the person who did the action. We use it also when the doer of the action is unknown or we don't want to say who has done it. Now take a look at these two examples. Number one, my brother wrote a book, and number two, my phone was stolen. In number one, who wrote a book? It's my brother, and my brother is the doer of the action. So my brother in this sentence is the most important element because he has done something. He wrote a book. Okay? And in number two, who stole my phone? The answer is either we don't know or maybe we don't want to say who did the action. So sentence one is an active sentence and sentence two is a passive one. Now let's work together and see how we can transform a sentence from active voice to passive voice. In this lesson, we're going to see 4 cases of how to transform a sentence from active to passive. In this first video, we're going to see the first case and how many steps there are in transforming a sentence from active to passive. Let's start with analyzing this sentence. We have my brother is the subject, wrote is the verb and it is in simple past, and a book is the object. Always start this way. Now, step number 1. The object of the active sentence becomes the subject of the passive one. In step 2, we need an auxiliary, and it is to be in the tense or form of the active verb. So here we have wrote, which is the passive right, and then to be in the past is was. In step number 3, we add the past participle of the active verb. Here the active verb is wrote and the past participle is written. Write, wrote, written. And we get a book was written. So the sentence my brother wrote a book, which is an active sentence, becomes a book was written as a passive one. Or if we want to mention the doer of the action, then we can add 2 more steps. So what is step number 4? Plus by. And finally, step number 5, plus the agent, which is the subject of the active sentence, which is my brother. And the result is a book was written by my brother. But if you say a book was written is also correct, and it's even better. Now let's check our understanding of case 1. Exercise 1. Rewrite the sentences beginning with the words given. Now I want you to pause the video and take 6 minutes to do this task on your notebook. So sentence number 1, Barbara built a new library in our town. Number 2, she feeds the birds 3 times a day. Number 3, the kids have broken the glass of the window. Number 4, Tom will send the report soon. So you start sentence number 1 with a new library. Number 2, by the birds. Number 3, the glass of the window. And number 4, the report. Off you go, 6 minutes. Okay, have you finished? Alright, let's do it together. So, do you remember the first thing we need to do before we transform a sentence from active to passive? Yes. Very good. Analyzing the sentence. So, let's analyze this sentence. What do we have? Barbara is the subject. Built is the verb, and we need to specify which tense it is. It's simple past. Nice. And finally, a new library, which is the object. Alright, now let's do it. Well, step number 1 is already done. A new library, which is the object, becomes the subject. Now, step number 2. Yes, very nice. The auxiliary to be in the tense of the active verb, which is built. Good. Number 3. Step number 3 is very nice. Built, was built. So the past participle of built is the same. And we finish our sentence in town. This is a correct passive sentence, but if you want to mention who did the action, then you can say by Barbara. It's also correct. Now let's move on to the second sentence. So we have the subject is she, the verb feeds and it's in present simple, and the birds is the object. So step number 1 is already done, the birds, and step number 2. Excellent. Are, because feeds is in present and the birds is plural. Step number 3. Very nice. Fed, the past participle of the verb to feed is fed, and 3 times a day. Nice. The birds are fed 3 times a day. Now, number 3. The kids have broken the glass of the window. So step number 1 is done, the glass of the window. Step number 2. Very nice. Has been. Can you tell us why? Very good, because the active verb is in present perfect. Have broken. Okay, next step. Very good. Broken remains the same. And finally, if you want to stop here, it's okay. It's perfectly correct. But if you want to mention the agent, then you can add by the kids. But it's optional. Now let's move on to number 4. Tom will send the report soon. So we have the report. Yes? Very nice. Will be. Can you tell us why? Excellent, because the verb send in the active sentence is in simple future. Will send. And next step. Nice. The past participle of send is sent. And we can finish the sentence by soon. Again, if you want to mention the doer of the action, you may use by Tom, but it's optional. If you don't, it's okay. Depends on the meaning of the sentence. All right, very good job. Now, I don't know if you noticed something in these sentences. Take a look at the objects of these sentences. In number one, we have a new library. Number two, we have the birds. In number three, the glass of the window. And number four, the report. Now, how many objects do you have in each of these sentences? Exactly, there is one object. And how many are there in this sentence? Jane sent our students a new video. Yes, exactly, there are two objects. What are they? Nice, our students and a new video. Okay, can you answer my question? What did Jane send our students? Yes, she sent them a new video. So a new video is the direct object, and our students is an indirect object. If we want to transform a sentence in which we have two objects from active voice to passive voice, we can start with the indirect object or with the direct object. And this is case 2, which we'll see in the next video soon, inshallah. Well, that's it for today's class. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, take care.